again, if you're in a market that people are not looking to get a long stay in, and then you set that up, it's possible you won't get any reservations far out. But then that's when the close-in book settings come in to say, once it's within 2 months or within 1 month, 1 month, reduce the minimum stay to 2 nights, and then start getting the usual reservations. So what we usually recommend our users do is look at your market a little bit, see where, say, 90% of your bookings come within the last 2 months, say. Then you can say, okay, outside of 2 months, let me set a higher minimum stay. I might not go get those 10% bookings that I used to get, which might have been very short, but I might get these longer bookings because now my calendar is open. So the goal now becomes to fill up these longer fill up your calendar with these longer bookings far out, and as they get closer, within 2 months, you're saying, hey, now I have a few pockets of availability left here and there, and I know a big chunk of my reservations, 90% of my reservations, anyways used to come within the last 2 months, so I'll still be able to fill it up.
Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let Thrive.
What's up, man? Episode 80.
Yeah, we're back for episode 80, and we have a special guest joining us. We have the co-founder of Pricelabs, Anurag Verma, coming on. Say hello, Anurag.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, so we have a lot of questions for you. I'll go ahead and say it. I've been really advertising your product because it's really helped me keep my vacancies down. So I've really been advertising you for all over Instagram and everything else because you guys, you have a great product. So I want to let you know that.
Perfect. That's great to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my first question is, what made you create this tool? Because there's so many other pricing tools out there. What made you say, hey, I want to create an Airbnb pricing tool?
So when we were starting off on this, one of my co-founders was hosting on Airbnb, and at that time nothing was out there that would sort of help people price their listings or fluctuate prices based on all kinds of events, seasons, and all those things. And I used to do sort of dynamic pricing and those kinds of things for the airline industry, so I was pretty familiar with how these things work. So we sort of got together and started sort of brainstorming to say, hey, at this point, at least at that point when we started, nothing else was there, and Airbnb smart pricing wasn't there. So you're like, hey, there is definitely sort of a need to build something like this, which is when we started off. Yeah.
Wow. So you didn't have any Airbnbs, just your partner did?
Yeah, my partner did.
Okay. So it just your friend got involved. All right. So, do you have anything first of all, the tool that I've been using and taking full advantage of is the far off pricing tool that everyone seems to love. They always ask me about it. How do you do that? Do you guys have any other tools? I don't know. What do you guys call it? You call it far out tool?
So, I guess you're talking about, so there are a couple of things in far out. There's the minimum stay stuff, so the dynamic minimum stay settings, where you can say, by default, I want my minimum stay maybe to be 2 nights, but then if there's more than, say, 2 months out, I want the minimum stay to be 5 nights. And then if it is last minute, I want it to be maybe 1 night within the last week. Because usually what we see is people who book farther out are sort of planning a long vacation or a long stay for whatever reason. And then people who are booking last minute are probably coming in for a short business trip or a short vacation, and they don't have all the holidays left to book 5 nights. So as you get closer, you start pretty much reducing the minimum stays. Is that more or less what you're talking about?
Yeah. So that was what drew me to what you have over because I was using Beyond Pricing. That's what really drew me to it because of what that setting right there, because it's helped cut down on my vacancies. Go ahead. Oh,
Anurag.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Hey, real quickly. So Well, we're talking to the co-founder of Pricelabs. I'll reiterate real quick. And what Pricelabs does, it helps you with your Airbnb pricing. What a lot of newbies to Airbnb, they don't. I mean, they start off putting it all at $50 a day or $100 a day, whatever they do, and they just put it across the board. And the people I talk to, like friends at work trying to start this, are like, well, what should I price it at? And I'm like, well, I use a third-party pricing app. And I currently, I'm ashamed to say it, but I currently use Beyond Pricing. But I'm gonna quickly jump on your product if it's everything Myka says that it is. But anyways, people ask about, well, I don't know how should I price it? I'm like, well, it's a science to it. It really is. And what your company provides, I mean, they do the pricing for you. People put I'm sure if it's like Beyond Pricing, they put it the minimum and the median and whatever they want to get, about what they want to get per night. And so what you go in and do, and you go into the science of it, like kind of like hotels pay people to price their product for them, and you price it as optimally as possible. And not only that, you make it where they can rent out, if they midweek they want to rent out 3 nights in a row or 4 nights in a row or even the weekends, and you can adjust it, and fine tune it. I'm thinking you can fine tune it even more than what a Beyond Pricing app can do. Right. And
so
go ahead.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. So we have the basic settings, but we also provide sort of a lot of fine tuning or advanced features for sort of people who are professional in some ways in what they want to do. So you can specify a minimum price, but you can also specify a different minimum price for weekends, for example. Or you could specify that if it is more than 6 months out, I don't want any reservation cheaper than, say, $150 a night, even if your average price was $100 a night. To say that's far out, I'll only take a reservation if it's really expensive. So there are a lot of these bells and whistles around to say, okay, how do I sort of further personalize the pricing or customize the pricing to what I need, and just not have sort of the what everyone gets in some ways, because each individual could have a very different strategy about what they want from their listing and how they see the market in some ways.
Right. And the more we can tinker with our business, I mean, the more optimal it will be. I mean, for sure. And,
yeah.
And that's okay. I'm jumping in on this thing, but one thing that frustrates me, for example, with Beyond Pricing. Okay, let's say I want to. Oh, I see an event coming. Beyond Pricing didn't catch it, and I'm coming this weekend. Taylor Swift's coming to town. I want to jack up my prices to, let's say, $200 a night, and I'll go and do it directly on the Airbnb page. And if I forget to go back to Beyond Pricing and turn off their their pricing tool, they're going to change it back to $60 a night, and and that kind of frustrates me. And I wonder what y'all have to kind of get around that or to fix that problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So in Pricelabs, what you can do is you can say, hey, I know this event is coming up, and maybe we increase the prices by 20%, and you want to say, hey, I want to add a further 50%, or the price that you want to set. So in Pricelabs, you can tell us, hey, for these 3 dates, set my price to $200, and then from then on, we stop using our calculations and we just use what you have told us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then that's one option. The other option is to come in and instead of setting a fixed price, you can also say, hey, bump up the rates by 50%. And then that way the rates go up. But then as the dates get closer and it's last minute and it's still not booked, instead of staying at 200, they will start coming down so that you can still have a better chance of getting a booking.
Nice.
And then, I'm going deep into this, but you can also specify that, hey, for these dates, do your own thing, but make sure the price is at least 200. So maybe our calculations eventually show up that, hey, you can rent it for 250. In which case we'll say 250. But then as it gets closer and maybe the price we calculate becomes less than 200, then we'll say, hey, because you as a user said don't go below 200, we'll stick to 200.
Oh, okay.
So, me and Steve was just writing something, and it was the question I had too. Because one thing I noticed, because ever since I put on the far out pricing that you have to stay a minimum of 4 nights, I get all these inquiries coming in that for people that truly want to stay for like 30 days, 15 days.
Right.
How do you guys get it to? Are you guys bumping the listing up in those searches when that happens? Because I was like, man, I don't know how I'm getting all these people asking about this all of a sudden. Because I wish I would have started a long time ago. Is that kind of how you guys do it?
So it depends on each market, but I suppose if you're getting these inquiries, then there are people in your market who want to stay for a long stay. And because your minimum stay is 4 nights or 5 nights, you're not getting these one-off reservations like 5 months in advance or 4 months in advance, which means your calendar is open while other people might have a day here or there booked. So you are sort of one of the few listings that's available for that duration that people are searching for.
Gotcha.
Nice. I guess, and when Myka, see, that's the thing. I had a similar question. When Myka was explaining to me, like, he's got these, 4-night minimum, 5-night minimums, I'm like, man, you're not going to appear on a lot of people's searches on Airbnb when they're looking for just, doing 2 nights, 2 nights in February 15th or something like that. You're not going to pop up because you have it set at 4-night minimum. Now, and apparently that's not a big problem because he's just got like solid bookings for all these months. So how is, and I guess you kind of answered it with what you previously said, but that was my big question, was how does he get the visibility when he has these set up, these big long minimum stays set up?
Right. Yeah, I guess, again, if you're in a market that people are not looking to get a long stay in, and when you set that up, it's possible you won't get any reservations far out. But then that's when the close-in book settings come in to say, once it's within 2 months or within 1 month, 1 month, reduce the minimum stay to 2 nights, and then start getting the usual reservations. So what we usually recommend our users do is look at your market a little bit, see where, say, 90% of your bookings come within the last 2 months, say. Then you can say, okay, outside of 2 months, let me set a higher minimum stay. I might not go get those 10% bookings that I used to get, which might have been very short, but I might get these longer bookings because now my calendar is open. So the goal now becomes to fill up your calendar with these longer bookings far out, and as they get closer, within 2 months, you're saying, hey, now I have a few pockets of availability left here and there, and I know a big chunk of my reservations, 90% of my reservations, anyways used to come within the last 2 months, so I'll still be able to fill it up.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And so you're a co-founder on this. When exactly did y'all form, and was there already like sort of pricing apps out there that when y'all decided to make this company?
When we were getting started, when we were just exploring the idea, there was nothing else. I think by the time we launched, within the 2 months before we launched, both Beyond Pricing and Everbooked launched as well. So I guess by the time we launched, there were other people, but at the time we started exploring the idea, there was nothing else.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So has Beyond Pricing, because we're in like a lot of Airbnb professional host forums on Facebook, and I guess my question would be like, what were the trials and tribulations of starting a startup with those, and has that been a big competition for you getting people off of like Beyond Pricing?
It's hard to say because the market itself, like the Airbnb or the vacation rental industry, I won't say just Airbnb because there is a lot more to it. Like Airbnb is new in some ways. There's been home away for about 20 plus years, or not 20 plus, but still a lot before Airbnb. There's TripAdvisor, there's Booking.com and all of that. So the vacation rental industry has been there for a long time. And what happened with Airbnb, it's really started growing. Like in the last few years since Airbnb started, it's been growing so much that, yes, we frequently get people who have been using Beyond Pricing, and then they want to see if there is something better out there, or there are people who have never used anything. And there are plenty of people who don't use anything, who just explore and find out that, okay, we can use Pricelabs. And so, yeah, I mean, of course, there is competition because there are a few people in this industry doing the same thing. So there has to be competition. But at the same time, it is a big growing industry. So, yes, there is always, you are always going to run into people who are already using something and so don't want to switch over. But there are also plenty of people who don't use anything.
So I'm going to jump ahead right quickly here because this just popped into my head. We jump all over on this show, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so let's say, okay, and I'll try to combine it all together and bring it back full circle, which is what I usually do. But there's a lot of city bans going on in cities all over the country, all over the world, trying to ban Airbnb, trying to ban VRBO, short-term rentals. So what a lot of people are doing, and we kind of try to preach on this show, try to respect the laws, whatever, whatever. People they want to make their own websites. Also, to have more control over their own properties. Instead of having Airbnb tell them what they can and can't do in their own house, they want to they can make their own websites and make their own bookings, kind of thing. Is there a way that you can work with people in their individual websites, or do y'all like provide maybe like a website platform for them to use your product?
So we integrate with about, I think, 25 property management systems. So things like Guesty or RB Rental or Beds24 or Breezy or there are a lot of these, and I'm just naming the first few that we integrated with. But the ones that are, I think, Guesty is, especially in the urban areas, Guesty seems to be quite popular. But yeah, these property management systems, we can send our price recommendations to these guys, and they send these prices into Booking.com or Airbnb or TripAdvisor. And also, if you have your own website plugged into that PMS, then to that website as well.
Oh, nice. So y'all never thought of going into like y'all providing like a website or format for people to use your product on. Y'all never thought of doing something like that?
Not really. I mean, pricing as a problem is hard enough to try and solve new problems here and there. But yeah, not yet at least.
So in a way, you're kind of being like Airbnb. They don't buy in the houses and maintain the houses. They just make money off of other people's houses. And so you're making money off other people's websites in a way. That's just kind of what I was getting at.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of, you can say we help other people price it right and then take a fee for that. Yeah.
There you go. And what kind of fee do y'all take for that?
So our fees are dependent on where you are and how many listings you use us for. So if you're in, say, US or Canada or Europe, the fees come to around $20 if you use us for one listing, and as it scales up, it keeps getting cheaper. So if you have 100 listings that you use us for, it would be around $6.50 per listing per month.
Oh, that's cheap, man.
Yeah,
fairly cheap. Very cheap. You had a question? I have a question, real quick. So bringing it back, because like I said, we jump around. What kind of background do you have, or the founder? You're a co-founder. What kind of background do y'all have, like math, science, and programming? I mean, to start something as big as this.
Right. So I have a PhD in a field called operations research, which is like applied math.
Nice.
And one of my other co-founders is a computer scientist. So, you need to know coding. You need to know. I mean, if you're going into something which is fairly analytical, you need to know like math and statistics and those kinds of things. And then for me, from my side at least, I'm working in the airline industry to do pricing there, because the airline industry sort of started this whole dynamic pricing thing. Also helps a lot just knowing what kind of things are done in other industries, that ideas that we can borrow from there, for example. Yeah.
So you said airline industry is what started the pricing thing?
Yeah, airlines were the first ones to dynamically price and do this whole revenue management kind of a thing back in, I think, the 70s or the 80s, one of those.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, the price wars, man. The price wars. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So
being
price wars is a part of it, but also just changing prices depending on whether somebody is traveling over the weekend or a long trip or a short trip. Usually short trips cost more than long trips and things like that. Or even as you get closer to when the flight is, should the prices change or not, and those kinds of things, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time. And on that note, would you ever work with, of course, you integrate with all kinds of systems dealing with short-term rentals. But, you've heard of Turo, right? The company Turo?
Yeah, the car sharing guys.
Yeah, car sharing, people can rent their own cars on there. Now, do y'all operate on those platforms?
No, we're pretty much in the short-term rentals right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever go that way, or just purely sticking to short-term rentals?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, ever. Maybe in a few years, if we find out enough about that industry and how it works, and there is a need, maybe, yeah.
Follow the money, right?
Yeah, if there's no need for it, then going and doing it would be sort of, and I actually don't know how exactly Turo works. Is it exactly the same as Airbnb?
Yeah, it's very similar. It's pretty much you're doing the same exact thing. You have a calendar, and you say when your car is available, and then you have it priced at different prices. So it'd be very similar. But I'm not sure. That's another question I had for you. I'm not sure if Turo has an open API. How hard was it to integrate with Airbnb's API? Was they pretty open with you?
That's a question I would not like to answer.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
That's fine. We've already pissed Airbnb off plenty in our time, for sure. Okay, a startup. Okay, so who did you start this company with? A friend, I assume.
Yeah. Friend from undergrad, and then another friend who we knew through a different friend from undergrad. So, yeah. And
this part fascinates me. Becoming a startup company and becoming, and then splitting it up as, hey, I'm CEO, you're CFO, or whatever, however that happens. And then the money comes rolling in. I don't know how exactly y'all's went, but how was that the first few months, first year? It must have been pretty difficult, I assume.
Yes and no. In some ways we kind of were, we had our own very sort of well demarcated set of things that we all did, which meant we were all busy doing our own things and not meddling into other stuff. But yeah, at the same time, anytime you start something new, it is fairly challenging. You don't know how well it works, whether people. Back then, we knew we wanted it, but you cannot be sure if everybody wants what you're building. So yeah, it's how do I say this? You get the gist. It is quite. Plus, because you're building it from scratch, there is sort of no blueprint for how it should work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we had to figure out how the flow on the UI should work, how to come up with price recommendations itself. It was, we had ideas based on how things work in airlines or hotels, but there are so many unique things about short-term rentals that it's very different in many ways. So that
No.
yeah,
that's great. It is challenging. I mean, it's challenging to do a business by yourself, let alone add people to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all already had pretty good day jobs, I assume. And did y'all start doing this like as a side project, or do y'all still have day jobs and then just jump right, 100% into it?
Yeah, more or less. So we all started this as a side thing, and then sort of made our jump slowly. And then I used to work at United Airlines, which doing pricing, it was a really fun job to be at, because again, airlines have a lot of data from a lot of historic years, and then there's a lot of sophistication that has already been built over the last 30, 40 years of doing pricing or dynamic pricing. It was pretty cutting edge from that perspective. So it was a lot of fun to work at. But this is equally good fun. Not complaining about it.
Now, do you have like any case studies that you like to talk about? Like someone came to y'all that was renting probably at about I don't know, just throwing some numbers out there, renting at 50% capacity at a certain price, and you got them up to like 90. I'm just saying, throwing numbers out there. Are there any like case studies that you could like highlight for us?
We are actually building a few case studies with some of our users who've been around with us for like a couple of years. But anecdotally, we have heard from a lot of users. We have our own internal things that metrics that we track to say, okay, how are different users doing? But anecdotally, like there are customers who have actually come and told us, hey, we didn't really expect it to do this well, and they've just been like really happy. Again, how much of a benefit you see depends a lot also on how well you use any tool, not just us. So there are people who don't see as much. Maybe they see 5%, 10%, and there was one person who actually in the forum was mentioning how they got something like 80% year-over-year improvement in revenue. Now, I don't know if all of that can be attributed to us, because it's quite possible that there are other things that were going on in the market that also led to that. But the other thing with case studies, we internally, when we measure, we have seen somewhere on average maybe around anywhere between 5 to 30%. But it's so hard to measure in some ways, because a lot of our customers tend to be professional property managers who are managing a large portfolio of listings, and that portfolio is in a lot of cases always growing, which means it's hard to say, and a lot of times the properties that were there last year are not there anymore, and new properties have come in, and all kinds of things are moving around. So it's hard to say month over month or year over year exactly how it's doing. But but we are trying to do a few case studies with some of our sort of users who have been around for a while to say, okay, what kind of difference do you think it's making?
Nice. I've got a case study for you, Anurag. This is my buddy right here, Myka. Myka, how long have you been using Pricelabs, and what has it done for your business?
That's a good question. I've been using it since Syed told me to use it, which was episode 67. So that's probably, 2 months ago? So about 2 months, and I know for sure it's been Pricelabs that does it for me, because I know for a fact I haven't had that many. That was why I had so many questions about how I appear in the listing, because I had never been inquired about these long-term bookings at that rate so fast. Like just 10 minutes ago, before we got off our last cast, someone inquired about, I think, 94 nights. So it's just like, geez, and that's why I think the tool is like really taking it to a whole nother level, just simply because of how booked you can stay. And I know so many people that just want that long-term booking to be hands off, because I have my Little Rock house. Someone's in there for 3 months right now.
And as Anurag pointed out,
Yeah.
I hope I'm not butchering your name. As our buddy pointed out, just lost my train of thought. But
Kind of did, but you're good enough.
and okay, could you say your name again one more time? I'm sorry.
So I think the A in the end is more like
Anurag.
Anurag.
Anurag. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Perfect.
And as he pointed out earlier, he said that it's like any tool; it's how you use it. Y'all provide let's just say a 12-string guitar as opposed to, let's say, Beyond Pricing or somebody's providing a ukulele. You can only do so much with the 4-string ukulele, but with a 12-string guitar, you got all kinds of more things, notes and scales you can do. Mm-hmm. And so, how are you using it yourself, Mike? I want to know. I mean, what are your little tricks and quirks that you've learned doing it, and maybe Anurag can comment on those.
Mine was the main one I'm using for the long-term bookings is the 4-night minimum stay. And kind of to go back to what you were saying, you were like, hey, but you won't show up in those smaller 2-3 night stays. That's actually a good thing, because what happens is, let's say you don't get booked for those 2 and 3 nights, and someone books you long term, and let's say someone doesn't book you long term. The good thing is, when that 20 night is going to start slowly creeping to an end, so then those people can then go ahead and book those places. So they're booking them more last minute than long term. So that was my biggest thing, is just the 4-night minimum. And he actually gave me a good idea with like, hey, if you want to do 60 nights out, you have to stay for a whole week or a whole 7 days. I'm actually going to look into that. But yeah, that's how I use it, which keeps me booked.
You got any comments on that? AV?
That's a fairly common way people use those minimum stay settings. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing people tend to do is, suppose there is a big event coming up, and it depends on each city what kind of events come up or what holidays there are. But if it's a week-long event, you can say that, hey, I don't want to take anything shorter than 7 nights during this duration, because I know people come here for this event and stay the entire duration. And if you get a 1 night or 2 night stay in the middle of that week, or even a 5-night stay, then you're pretty much saying, hey, anybody who wants the entire week can't book. So you can select different periods and say, for this period, I just want 7 nights. Now, as it gets closer, you might want to just remove it if it's still not booked. But then, if it's far out, you can sort of force that. And a lot of times, especially for big events, that would happen. And 7 night, I'm giving an example, but maybe it's for 4th of July, it might be 4 nights or 3 nights, depending on which day it falls on and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And this is always, like I was talking about earlier about cities starting to ban, short-term rentals and stuff like that. Have you noticed any impact at all on your business yet, or do you foresee any impact coming your way?
It's hard to say which way it goes, and that's a battle, or that's a fair battle that is best sorted out between the cities and Airbnb or other companies. But yeah, it's really hard to say which way it will go. But there are there are urban rentals, but there are also sort of vacation rentals in locations that are not necessarily, where the entire industry depends on tourism. So where we know that these industries have been there for 30 years and it's not going away. So cities might ban it, but those places will not. So there's always, short-term rentals will probably be there in some capacity. So I know a lot of European cities have sort of this 90-day rule, which which makes sense in many ways to say you can rent at most 90 days short term. I think London has something like that. And then the rest has to be long term. So, each city is going to come up with some form of a rule to regulate it. Outright ban, it's hard to say. But, yeah, that's not something in our control. So, not something we should worry about too much in some ways.
Yeah. And now, a lot of our listeners, they do Airbnb or they're looking to do Airbnb, short-term rental kind of thing. And I don't think the hotel industry listens to our show, not too much. But I was wondering, do y'all do pricing for like hotels?
Boutique hotels, yes. So we have a few customers that manage boutique hotels, which also list on Airbnb sometimes, or sometimes they don't list on Airbnb, but they list on Booking.com, and those we work with. Larger hotels usually no, because there are sort of well-established pricing systems for larger hotels that work a little differently. I mean, part of the reason short-term rentals are different is that each listing is unique. And when you get to boutique hotels, you can still somewhat say that. But if you're a large hotel with 200 of the same room, the underlying algorithms and math works a little differently. And those sort of systems, already a lot of them exist. Not to say that no large hotels use us. I mean, I know there are a few that have started using or in the last year or so, but yeah, for the most part, large hotel chains is not what we're targeting.
Well, I have a question. What other? Because you said you were in U.S., Canada, and Europe, right? Are you guys in any other countries? Because I know like places like Japan, China. Yeah, what are you guys in any other countries?
So I mentioned U.S., Canada, and Europe because they have one pricing tier, and then there is another pricing tier for the rest of the world, and we have customers in all kinds of places. So I think the remotest customer we have is somewhere in the middle of Pacific, like close to New Zealand, not even close to New Zealand, like very far away from anything that you would see on the map unless you're really zoomed in.
Fiji?
Yeah.
Wow.
Say that again?
I said Fiji?
No, Fiji, it was much smaller than Fiji. I think it was called Niue or something like that, like Cook Islands, like a part of Cook Islands or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot of customers in Asia, in Australia. We have customers in Africa. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Now, going back real quick to you had mentioned boutique hotels earlier, and this is one of my, I guess my predictions. Is there going to be, because with the bans coming and stuff like that, is there going to be? You're in the front lines, so do you see like I would say explosion of boutique style hotels, or do you see like a big uptick on these boutique style hotels?
Why am I on the front line?
Oh, because you do the pricing and you kind of notice who's signing up and stuff like that.
Got it.
You seeing more and more boutique hotels signing up using your pricing?
They are signing up to use our pricing, but I don't know if these are boutique hotels that are springing up now, or have they ever always existed for the last 10 years or so. So I don't know if cities banning has anything to do with
it's hard.
boutique hotels.
It's hard to tell. That's just my little prediction that all these people that used to do Airbnb from their home might, they might enjoy this little hospitality business going on, and they might look into doing if I can't win against the city, I'll just form my own little boutique hotel and do it that way.
That's a fair point. There are a lot more people who now are experts in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, you'll see very soon the Live Let Thrive Hotel here in Arlington. So look us up.
Has HomeAway reached out to you guys to integrate with them directly or not? No.
No. I don't. We want to do that integration at some point. It will happen, hopefully.
Oh.
But yeah, right now it all has to go through a property management system or a channel manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. How do you see your company growing even more than it has? And let's say, where do you see yourselves in the next 10 years? I know that's a broad question, but what do you see for the future of Pricelabs?
10 years.
You could do 5 years. It don't matter.
Okay. No, so in terms of the broad industry itself, I think we are still used by a very small fraction of all people who do short-term rentals. So there's a lot of scope to grow from where we are right now into something larger. And then, like you said, we are doing short-term rentals, and then we're at some point boutique hotels are already using us. So it will start. We really don't know if we want to go that direction, but maybe we end up going that direction. But yeah, within next 5 years is, I would say, still a short time in some ways to say. I'm pretty sure in the next 5 years the industry will keep growing, and people who use us hopefully will keep growing. But we would still, there's still be plenty of people who don't use any pricing tools. So there will still be a scope for us to improve our product, and scope for us to reach out to new folks to say, hey, you can benefit from using something like this.
Oh, that's cool, man. Do y'all have plans to IPO in the next 5 or 10 years?
Wow. I really don't have an answer to that.
Aim for the stars, right?
Not a question that had crossed our minds.
Okay.
At least my mind at all. Yeah. Probably not.
Just share keep 100 shares on the side for me if you could. AV. Another thing, y'all are, we're gonna ask how to reach y'all and all that stuff, but y'all are Pricelabs.co, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And why co instead of .com? It's a silly question. I don't know.
Because .com is expensive and somebody is sitting on it.
Yeah.
There's an entire industry around this.
Yeah, they buy and hold and flipping website. What's it called? Domains.
Yeah, domain. What's it called? Domain snipers.
That's
what they call them. Wow.
How much are they wanting for that Pricelabs.com?
I don't really know, but way back when we started, it was not something we thought would be worth it. So we haven't really. And most of our customers, if you Google us, you'll find us.
Yeah.
The absence of .com, it's hard to tell how much, but most people now know that it's not .com. It could be .io, it could be .co, it could be whatever.
Yeah, and that's when Myka told me about Pricelabs. So I instantly typed in Pricelabs.com, of course, and I got to that page where it says you can purchase this domain. This domain is for sale or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? This is this? Okay, I'm just telling you what I saw. We speak off the cuff here, and I'm like, what kind of this is me? What kind of professional big company that I'm going to trust with my with my listings is this? and it doesn't even have a .com. And then of course, as soon as I Googled it, it took me to your Pricelabs.co, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's cool. It just added an extra couple steps to me finding you guys. But I mean, like you said, people are getting more hip to it and stuff. But that was just my initial reaction.
Right. No, that's good to know. Yeah, something we'll look into.
Yeah, I'm just to Myka. I mean, did that even make a difference to you at all?
No, because I know most of the automations nowadays, even the the messaging automations, they're either .o or .co, .io or .co, and that is exactly for the reason you just said. A lot of and that's another thing we had to talk about too. When these big companies like Airbnb take off, and all these, you always call it, the picks and shovels around it, people start sniping those domains. So for example, I'll just use my website for example. My website is sharebnb.com. I paid $3,000 for it. But eventually I got my money back. But yeah, you for a startup cost, I didn't buy it at startup. I bought it later on down the line when my business was rolling. So yeah, it gets expensive. I've seen websites for $10,000. I think, and a lot of the internet stuff, it started to stop after the guy who held up MLB.com. And they had to pay him all that money. And that was the last time they're like, hey, we can't let these people just snipe up domains. Because the guy who bought MLB, he retired off that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So and if honestly, another thing, if you really want to make some money, you see all this new stuff coming, something new starts coming to town, go buy their .com.
And I listen to podcasts about startup businesses and stuff like that, or and different business podcasts, and I hear, man, they'll pay if they know they got a good idea and stuff like that. They've been paying 6 figures for a domain name that someone's sitting on. I mean, it's insane. But
you have to realize that domain name only becomes 6 figures because people are typing it in, and that's how they hold that domain. Hey, this is worth $5,000. This is how many people are typing it in. So. Yeah, it's very interesting,
It's interesting, and see, you're a computer programmer, right?
Engineer,
and so you're in that industry, and you know that. Me as a novice, I'm not an engineer or programmer or nothing. Just like I said, that was my initial feel, and that just did give me enough pause. Is Myka sure what he's talking about? Because they don't even have a .com. And I'm gonna start giving them my credit card information and stuff. I guess I know it's just an old school or a non-informed way to look at it. But I felt weary about giving my credit card information to a .co. I don't really know much about .co. They all say secure, right?
No, they don't. If they don't say secure, you better be careful.
See, another thing that a lot of people I don't think. Yeah. I'm looking at it as a novice, as someone that's just
if you don't see the green secure, you be careful. Pricelabs has it.
Yeah, but so just letting all our fans know, Myka, he's a freaking professional in that field. He knows it's safe. He knows it's a great company, and it's put a lot of money in his pocket. So there you go. So it's safe. Use it, and there you go.
Definitely, it is safe. It's definitely a great product. Hey, do you guys at AV? Do you guys have anything coming that's any new tools that you're going to add on? Any new pricing strategies that you're going to add on to the tool?
Yes, but also I don't know if you've been using it for 2+ months, you probably got our product updates. I don't know if you read them, but there have been a couple of them in the last 2 months, and some of them were around how do you manage pricing if you have, or how do you manage things in your Pricelabs account if you have 100 or 200 or you have customers with more than 1,000 listings. How do you manage prices more easily if you have that kind of a scale in some ways?
Mm-hmm.
So there are you can do things where you can say, for all my listings in this location, I want this minimum stay setting. So you're not tinkering with each listing individually.
Mm-hmm.
You can instead create a group and say, for all the listings that belong to this group, I can just control the settings from one place, or I can control the prices from one place. So I can say for everything that, I think you're in Dallas, so for everything that's in Dallas during this big holiday, and I don't know what, event would be, but I want to increase my price by 30% further and make my minimum stay 3 nights. And you can do this like with one click for all your properties in that list instead of going into 20, 30, 50 calendars. Then there is going to be a little more finer controls. We always have to find that right balance between giving further controls to our users versus holding them back if we think they're not going to be as useful, because there is also a point where it becomes too complicated for an average user to say, hey, there are so many options, I don't know what to do. So we always want to maintain that balance of giving the right options so that people are able to use it effectively without getting too confused. So yeah, we have a few things up our sleeves which we are trying to debate on. Okay, how do we best present it so it's not too confusing in some ways.
Nice.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, a couple more questions before we. I see you were worried we wouldn't have enough to talk about, but there's plenty to talk about, and especially this is all fascinating stuff to us because we're pricing nerds, right?
Pricing nerds. Pricing strategies.
It's gotten to the point. I'm not as advanced as Myka, and I do want to try your product so badly. But it's gotten to the point where, like, a buddy, like I said, will say, hey, I'm starting to rent a room out of my house, or I'm going to rent this and that. Here's my thing, help me with it. And I just see $50 all the way across the board into infinity. And I'm like, you got to work on the pricing, bro. It is crucial to work on your pricing. But what I was going to say, okay, you do the pricing for, the end of the industry, but have you ever considered, or have you ever rented out a room in your house, or rented out a house, or on Airbnb, just to, maybe not because you wanted to make a little profit, but just for the science of it, or have you ever considered doing it yourself?
My co-founder has. I haven't. Actually, both my co-founders have. The second co-founder actually started renting out just to pretty much learn how all of this works. I'm more of a data person, so I know what numbers to look for and what they mean in some ways.
Yeah.
And then I've been been in airline industry, so what kind of strategies will work and what won't, and all those kind of things I came with some background on. I personally have not tried to host, but yeah, both my co-founders have.
That's interesting. Wow. So they wanted to get that hands-on experience. That's cool.
Yeah, so with the first one, the entire thing started because he was hosting and he noticed that there's nothing to help change prices dynamically, and that's why this entire conversation started to build something that will help people do it. The second co-founder did it after we started building to say, okay, I want to learn this a little better and actually host people. Right.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I dig that, and that's we do a podcast about Airbnb, home share, single short-term rentals, and when we started, I didn't even host. I just thought it was a cool thing. I used it all the time when I traveled, but I didn't host.
Same thing.
Yeah, and then Myka told me about him hosting out of his house, and then him doing renting out timeshares and stuff like that. And that's what I was like, man. And I was in between moving, getting another house, and I was going to turn the other one into a long-term rental. And I was like, man, I got to at least try it for my own sake, just so I can talk about, to have stuff to talk about on the show and to relate to other renters out there, the hosts out there, and stuff like that. So I could see it both ways. And Myka, he was already doing it, and he knew the data side of it. But I just really needed to get my hands dirty, and literally I've gotten my hands dirty doing this stuff. But if it's not been rewarding profit wise, and it has been a little bit, it's been rewarding knowledge wise, and I think that's cool that a couple of the co-founders actually tried it out or do it or did it just for the knowledge point of it.
Yeah.
And I had another question real quick before we wrap this up, man. It's been a great interview. It's been a fascinating interview. Wouldn't you agree, Myka?
Yes, sir.
Advice to people, because we have, I mean, and we're a show about, short-term rentals, but we're also about just, hustling at whatever business, you're trying to start or you're trying to get up and going. And do you have, it's not maybe a little bit of a broad question, but do you have advice to to people that want to take a leap and start their own thing? Maybe they're in a field and they see I could do it better, or they just always wanted to try something and make a business out of it. Do you have any advice on how to get started?
Hard to say, but no. I mean, if you have an idea, then try to make it work. As in, try to. I guess it doesn't harm you to try it on site and see where you can take it. And if it's leading you somewhere good, then just keep going someplace, right? I mean, if you come up with something and say, hey, I can do this better, and you actually don't end up trying, then yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. I know that, I mean, it's a very well-known fact that I'm repeating, but I guess that's pretty much what I can come up with right now.
Yeah, just try it.
Just try it. There you go. Just do it.
Just try it out, man. Well, we appreciate you hopping on with us, man. We know Myka swears by your product. You don't pay him for an endorsement or nothing. Not that we're reaching out for one, but could you tell people where to find y'all? And is there, do y'all have do y'all do a month free, or do you have tell them that we sent y'all kind of thing, or information about your awesome company? Yeah, so
the URL, the big discussion around that helps, but it's Pricelabs, PRICELABS.co. It's not .com, so it's pricelabs.co. And if you have questions, you can email us at support@pricelabs.co. We're pretty responsive there. In terms of free trial, yes, when you sign up, there is a 1-month free trial where you can review prices, you can play around with things. If you're comfortable with it, you can also start syncing them right away. But if you just want to try things out, you can actually try things out without making anything live on Airbnb or your PMS. And we actually recommend that. The first time you log in, if you have 10 listings, maybe try it for 1 or 2 listings and see it during your trial and become comfortable with how things work before you turn on all 10 listings in some ways. And then again, during the free trial, there's no credit card or anything required. And then at the end of the month, you kind of decide, okay, do I want to continue using this or not? That's more or less how the free trial works. So there's a lot more information and a video demo and all of that available on our website. So if you want to learn more, just hop onto the website, see the video, read up all the stuff there, or just email us and we point you to the right stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you hopping on. Any closing thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, thank you for hopping on. I will definitely be advertising your product. People can find me on Instagram. I'm advertising it all the time. You can go to my Airbnb page. But yeah, definitely hop on it. Everyone out there, it's a really good tool. Definitely cut my vacancy way, way down. So yeah, definitely thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you, Anurag.
Thanks for having me over.
Yeah, Pricelabs.co, folks. Check them out. Well, this has been a great show. Thanks a lot, Anurag Verma, for jumping on. And I'm sorry for butchering your name so many times, but we had great fun with you. The last time was perfect. And hey, maybe you can hop on the show again in the future with us. This is great.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
So that was AV. I call him AV, a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Anurag Verma from Pricelabs. And I mean, you've tried them out, and I'm gonna be on pricing, but I'm gonna jump on there. I'm gonna jump on there, man.
You gotta jump on that. You gotta jump on Turnover B&B, man. We gotta. Hey, everyone, we need to be encouraging Steve to automate his B&B. Automation, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get with the automation game.
Hashtag automate Steve, you know?
Yeah, automate Steve. There you go. Anytime you leave us any message, type in hashtag automate Steve. Encourage him. Automate.
Hell yeah, that was a great show, man.
Yeah, good show.
It. I'm glad. I mean, that's why we do this, right?
Yeah, definitely, dog.
You use this product yourself, and then you got to talk to the founder, man. And that's some cool stuff.
Yeah, man. Get on. Oh yeah, you got to get on LinkedIn, man. That's how I found him on LinkedIn. I was like, I gotta find the Pricelabs guy. Went on there and found him.
Tip of the day, LinkedIn. I'm not even on LinkedIn, man.
Gotta get on.
I don't know why I'm not on there.
Every single entrepreneur is on there. Yeah, gotta get on LinkedIn.
Awesome, man. Well, this is a great show, dude.
Yeah.
This is a great way to hit episode 80, you know?
Yeah.
And 100 miles and running.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
So thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We happy that y'all are liking the show, and we hope to do more great shows for you guys.
Peace.
Later, Pricelabs.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.